Bang. We are back with our 60-second IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop. Mike Cook and myself are here to go through the July options. So who's up for some doubles? I'll let you take it away. It's a little fun thing. Zoom used to be like free, which is still free. Now we have to wait between shows. We do a pre-show, then this show. It's bastards. So, and we miss Alex, so we wanted to do our I Dig That. So,
and because Matt gets one belt out, everybody's two out.
My one belt. Actually, I have a couple of elite belts laying around somewhere. But yes, no more Clemmer belts, sadly. That's the way it goes these days.
Yep, it's hard for a belt company in 2023.
Yeah.
I did see my son did karate here, and that was the tournament prizes like a year or two ago. It was these exact belts.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Was he like?
I don't know where they got them from, but yes, it's just all over the flyers. Like it was, this huge incentive to sign up, and it was like really expensive contest to start with. And I was like, oh, those belts don't cost that
much. They saved the money on the belts.
Yeah.
Well, we are down to a pivotal cycle here. Lots of pressure for good results.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our last round, we had some 501s come out of there, or was in the play, right? Or was that 2 cycles ago?
I don't think last cycle had any. There's like 2 in all of gold, so it wasn't
those 26s shocked everybody.
Yeah, I was making that bold claim that I didn't think they would happen again. Not only did they happen again, it was middle of the year, not even towards the end.
Johnny B stopped watching the show. He's like,
but, like I said, it was let's see. Let's get it over here. I think it was like every other year that there was one double drop that got a extra, so there was 4 instead of 3. So I guess we got it this year. It's not like they didn't deceive us or anything, but it was unlikely to happen.
Wasn't 29, 26 3 times the same cycle.
If they did it again this cycle, 26, 26, that's when, you can send your grievance.
The blood will flow.
But no, it happened. We can move on.
That's right. Gotta regroup. We're on to Cincinnati.
Old Bill.
So right. How bad is it going to be this cycle?
Well, we start off pretty good because we're on that cycle where we get to cut off a few because of hole 25 being 29.
Yep.
And the back with 90 at 44 cuts to 8. And we're thankful for that because we'll start there. I don't know what to tell you about 42, 41. Last cycle, we finally got a mix. We had 2 41s in it, actually 3. So we had a 3 and 3.
Right.
And this cycle, they're back to 2 42s to start. Based on, the past, year now at this point with the 2 big runs? When I see 2 42s, I'm probably going to go 42. Did we just get a 1 cycle break and we're right back into it? Maybe.
Yeah.
Or they're just setting us up and it's a 41 here and they'll be mixed the rest. But my quick guess, like I said, see 2 of them. I'm going to go with a third and I'll go 42s. But I don't feel 100% about that stuff.
All right. You get share screen, I think, if you want it.
Well, I've been pointing to a lot of things, so let me do that again.
I was like, well, that screen's not being shared. Oh. There it is.
No, it all makes sense, right?
It's the curse of the I Dig That kid.
Okay. So recap that. Yeah. So 42s have been the start of this cycle. Last cycle we had the mix 3-3. Gold happened to be one that got it. But yeah, they got us in a spot where it's a little less predictable right now. And I don't mind that, but you have to guess basically, because what are you really going off of to say, oh, it's going to be a 41? Because it can't be that it hit it last cycle because Iron did not. So I think 41 is always, that safer, can't get worse than a 42. You're probably going to get a 43 on one of them.
Right.
44s, if it's a 42, one's a 44, one's probably a 41. So you're likely not going to get a 44, 43. So where you want to play it? Safer and try to get a 42, 43, and maybe a 44, or the other that's going to have the two with a wider variance. That's pretty much where you got to work with that.
So if I'm looking at this right, we've had 43-2 for 4 feds in a row. Or would be 4?
43-2. It'd be 3 in a row. We just had the last 2. That's happened a few times though. We had a 4 here and a 3 here. So, yeah. So here, yeah, basically make one of those 2 decisions. Do you feel just that it's a little safer to go 41 just to not get a worse score? Or do you want to go the other way and try to get that one if it hits, knowing that if you used it, both of them on 2, one's going to be a pretty bad strat compared to the other. But that'll get you down to 4 backs with 90 being a 44. So that's your must-make decision, I think. Now, over here, 42 were ours last cycle. And if we look back through, very uncommon these early feds that you would see 2 in a row. Trying to think, actually, it might be 0. It might be all later fed when that happens.
So for me, 43-2 to 43-2 to 43-2 again, be like unlikely.
The 44-2 and 43-2 combination. So that'll leave us with 1-2, 1-1, or 2-1. But that takes our 4 backs down to 3. If you just cross this one out, doesn't mean it can't hit, but we've got over 2 years of data here where it didn't happen, so go with that. So I'll leave the backs there. That's make that one decision, cross out this one. You got 3 backs. So if you got 6 wrestlers, you get to use 2 fronts and 3 backs. So with the early things that we'll go over in just a second, if we punch in 3 backs and wait for the computer to catch up, there we go. That's already down to 36 combinations. So
wow,
really good start, just on 2 simple decisions on the back. So going over the fronts, these 6 are crossed off because of hole 25 being a 29. We got these 2 extra 29-27s because that was 2 cycles ago in gold.
Right.
We got 26s crossed off from last cycle's gold.
Yeah.
Got 27-26 crossed off from iron. And still got us the 27s. So we're already down 2 out of 3 double drops.
Right.
Just the 2 we wouldn't have used. So that leaves us with 8, 12. Oh, yeah, and we crossed 159 off because that was 2 cycles ago's 25s. Right. So yeah, 12 fronts. Not too bad. The green ones has one of the 2 cycles ago 25s. That's been helping us. We did well because I did have that predicted last cycle, but like I said, I just completely dismissed the 26s, so it was in what we thought on using it. We just didn't, even put it
Yeah.
as an option. But it fit what we thought of the 2 cycles ago 25s. Uh, and I'm thinking because we had the 2 in a row of no's, that I'm leaning towards it being a yes again, hoping that we get at least 2 or 3 more in a row.
Right.
So I'm going to lean into that. Doesn't give us a huge help because you see out of the 12, 8 have one in it. So it cuts a few. Basically, we're saying, what is it? 28, 27, 28, 26. It's going to cut half of those, and that's fine. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that decision for myself.
Executive decision.
Yeah. So that leaves us with 129.28, 229.26s, a 28.28, and 228.27s, 228.26s. So pretty good spread there for so few options. We're going over one,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5. So we're talking 8 options over 5. That's a little out of the normal on what we typically have, but pretty much I think the safer bet, 6 of the 8 involve a 28 dropping. So I'm probably going to lean towards my strat needs to have a 28 missing.
Mm.
And by percentage, there's a 75% chance you're right then. But on one hold at least.
Mm.
What do you think? You like 29, 26? Is that what that is about?
Well, just after the debacle of 2 cycles ago with the 329 26s, but we also haven't had 28 in 27 cycles. I think we talked before what the longest time between drops was for any one time. Do we know what that was? Was it the BRL with the 20, or sorry, gold with 28s before?
Yeah.
That
So
was
give me a second.
30?
We got that down here. It was pretty high. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yep, right there. 30. It was on the 35th. Yeah, so there's 34. Then on the 35th it hit. Uh, yeah, it's crazy. Because yeah, it's definitely going to happen soon. But as you see, soon could be this cycle, or it could be in December.
Could be this cycle for a long time.
Yeah, sure is getting tempting though. I wouldn't mind having it on. I don't know if I'd go like with the 3 backs. Maybe it goes on 3, but it'd be tough if you have any real. But I mean, then again, the point I said where it wouldn't be bad to have 128 because most of these have a 28 missing.
Yeah.
That means you might miss one. It only really hurts if it's one of those cycles where you go for it and one of the 2 is a 30. That's brutal when that happens off of double drop.
Yes.
But yeah, 28s. I wouldn't fault anybody if they actually started using it this cycle. It's yeah.
Well, Darren, the question we had today, one was why do bad flows happen to good managers? Why do good flows happen to bad managers? Uh, and they asked me, have I ever taken 30, 29, or 25 for the drops in your multi teams? The only time I can think of when I did avoid 25 was I want to say it was 2019 when they had that corrective cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and we saw it coming. So I know with Adam Cash, I gave him, I think either one or no 25s. It was like I just, and he did well. I think I won like American or something like that cycle. But it was they were running as a team. I had him in Fatty, so it's like
Okay, so he's not talking about on multis. He's actually talking about just a singles strat.
No, I think he meant multis, but I think
Okay.
what I
It's
do
like
with
that's
cash is I do
yeah.
his strat as kind of a combo, like a
Hmm.
hybrid. So he'll have, instead of having like traditional like 44 1, 44 2, I do like 44 1, 43 1, and then I'll do like if it's 90, then I'll do a random like the 42 41. Um, and then for Fatty at 13 and 14, he has 44 1, 43 1. So it's like if they hit, they're fine, singles wise, or Adam is flow wise. But if they don't, yeah. But I think I'm going to ride out 28s with Adam Cash just to do it. I just may as well because I don't want to miss it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You only get a chance every 30 cycles.
right, but I think the bigger scope of it is uh, maybe not so much what I've been doing lately is not so much flow wise. Instead of running, like for example, instead of running 25, 20, like 25 1, 25 2 at like
Hmm.
uh, 9 and 10, what I'll do is run 25 1. If I think it's going to be a higher hold, I want that to be at 7 8, and then 25 2 to be at 9 10. So in theory, if they go to 29 28 as 25s often tend to do, I'm covered. And if they don't, I've got other holds in there that hopefully will hit. And I'll be able to say, I dig that.
Now, in regards to it on multis, yes, I have done it. I did it last cycle in Diamond and actually got world tag for not doing it. So the reason I did that, um, if you look at Diamond, I noticed before I did them that it was pretty rare that a 29 actually went to 28s there. And there was almost no instances outside of one where it happened two in a row. So the fact that the cycle before had one there, I didn't expect it to happen again. And then I looked over here and it felt like it was due for a 28 to be at 29, or I'm sorry, at 30. And it was one of those cycles where, as you see, it ended up being pretty common. So that was a decent guess. But knowing I wanted to have, I had 3 or 4 tags total. So I wanted 2 with a 28 here, which meant I didn't want to put them at all here. So I got to put 26s here, and it worked. So there's times. Um, with a 30 or 25, though, yeah, there's going to be one every once in a while with it, but it's something like I think it's over 90%, I believe, that those two are going to be within 30, 29, and 28s every cycle. It's
Mm-hmm.
rare. So you might miss one a year if you don't use those. But
What do we always
if
say? Play the
yeah,
odds. Don't play the.
yeah,
Oh, wait till it
exactly.
happens.
And I think it takes you from there's if you don't count splits, there's I think 48 tag combinations, and that takes away I think it's 12 of them, something like that. So it gives you a pretty good start on working on tags.
Yeah, I
Just to
mean,
say, use these two.
I
Because
looked.
what? Yeah. No, go ahead.
Honestly, I've looked at this, and it's kind of the way I try to look at things. It's sort of like, for example, the 44 1, 43,
Hmm.
41, and 42. I've been tracking to see like what they do each cycle. So noticing that like it won't be the exact same combo back to back. Um, so tags a little different because of, like they can come from different spots, if you will. But I've been trying to watch that as sort of a gauge, and yeah, I'm always trying to tinker. I mean, I won the
Hmm.
IWA 6 again, so that worked out. I hit a 516, but it wasn't perfect. So like some things are working. So it's like trying to put the parts together, and it kind of reminds me of like a pitcher who like has a new pitch, so it's like kind of tweaking it. So find the strike zone, which in this strike zone is like 495 or higher, and then you want to get uh a good like 10, 12, 20 strikes
Hmm.
and make the report. And yeah, I mean it's frustrating but I feel that getting a better hold on it, understanding this, and we will be doing a show at some point to like redo the how to win hold and kind of how to win show and kind of talk about understanding the basic concepts. Because I know the newer players, once they get it, they're like, oh, okay. And sometimes you see the NWL where guys just, it clicks and all of a sudden you see them tag and 6-man tag and 6-man tag and 6-man because they figure out how to flow. And if you can figure out how to flow in NWL before anybody else or competitively, you can do pretty well. So
There's a bonus tag thing. So what I tried to do and still this cycle, I had two options that I knew based on just looking up through here. The first one was 30 had been a 29 3 cycles in a row, and they had done that several times to where three's kind of the limit. There was one here, but the last 4 times it cut off and there wasn't one. So I knew I probably wanted to put it over here, but my other problem was that meant 25 at 29, 2 in a row, which was actually pretty rare. It happened, 2 times up here, and it hadn't happened in almost a year and a half. So I knew one of those two things that didn't happen often had to happen. I just
right.
unfortunately guessed it backwards and
Yeah.
had the 30-25, but I had that part right. It was just, yeah, it was trying to figure out one of those two things not being true. So I had a 50% chance and missed. Then on tag, another interesting thing that I don't know if it's going to go to become a more common thing. Last cycle had 28 at 30, 4 out of 6, which is really rare. And then we started off with 1 out of 2 this cycle. So if it is going to be a thing, it's not too bad to start considering maybe a couple more here. We'll see.
Well,
Yeah. But something to watch. I wouldn't probably don't jump on that
I would say too, it would make
ahead of
total
time.
sense
But
though,
yeah.
because having like, oh, I'll play 28s and play it, and cross fingers, and then one of the 28s goes to 25. You're like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one goes to 30. So you're like, effed.
But if you put it in a tag strat and both go to 25, that is a 506 at best. So
Yeah,
if you got something on the line, probably don't do that this cycle.
yeah.
That's our tag sideshow. Back to this one. Yeah, I think pretty close. Like I said, just the quick cut we made of saying I want to use one of the 25s from 2 cycles ago gets us down to our 24 8
Mm-hmm.
fronts. Then the two decisions, use those first 3 combinations. Don't use the 2 and 2 over here, and then just pick between 1 and 2. And to recap, I think the 41s are a little safer because you get 1 to 2 points more than the worst 42. But just going with the trends, it seems if you start off with 242s, don't go against it. So, yeah, just a few decisions and
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
easy to pick your stress this cycle. So,
I I hope it's easy for me because I'll be ripping my hair out. I have tried to put off picking my strats to cut down on my double, overthinking.
mm-hmm.
So that way I have less time to, overthink it and be like, oh, I'm gonna do this instead. Um, yeah, who knows? But I have to really, really rally now in IWL because certain top players aren't going to be there anymore.
Yep, it frees up
Rigged.
the top 5 spots open, a partial, sometimes top 10.
Yeah, it's rigged, I tell you. No, I think this could be a good cycle
Mm-hmm.
for a mix. I just think if we have a split where it's like, one goes down, one goes up, you're going to see
I'll be
everyone.
surprised if we don't get several 501s. It feels like one of those that's gonna have them. So
I could use a 501. My ninth 501 would be very nice. Are you listening, Johnny B? Are you watching?
Because even, like I said, don't use these four just because that's the part I'm leaning away from. But
Mhm.
there's going to be somebody that just wants 28, 27 and goes across still. So
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think we're pretty good. We got everything covered pretty much.
I think that's about it.
All right. Well, this is a 60-second show. So hopefully we rattle off a bunch of 501s for me.
Mm.
But as always, feel free to send us questions or ideas or suggestions, things to try, new ways to look at the holds maybe. I want to mention that the IWAR draft is coming up in the fall and people are starting to declare. So if you want to be involved, let us know. Every year it's a fun show, and there may be some surprises this year. We're gonna have the Western Trails League as part of it. So, toot toot, get that involved. And we're working on some other fun for the fall. So get involved. It's fun. And it's more fun when you get more involved in the various things we offer. Um, if you haven't checked out the BWL yet, Black Widow League is a one wrestler women's league. It's just $5 per cycle. You get 6 matches and about a royal entry for that. And it's a lot of fun, a lot of trash talk. You'll see the write up coming up this issue, where the cruel reigning champion Betty the New gets her comeuppance.
Yep.
What? No. And I wasted all that money on FanDuel covering Betty to cover the spread.
Yeah, look at her. I think it was that or the other contest. My total is 498, 498, 501. And then when I had everything on the line, 3 titles and all that, that's when I get the 492. So,
Yeah, that's a bummer.
yeah.
Uh,
Bad cycle.
no. We do have this cycle coming up is the final cycle for the summer series. So if you're in it still, this is your chance to win a really cool prize, IWAR credit, and so then we'll be getting our fall events going up next, so including the IWAR draft. So we'll talk about that next time. But thanks, Mike, as always, and we will catch you guys all in 3 weeks. So don't double your holds. I guess that's it.
All right.
So I think you have control of the screen. So
Oh, do I?
yeah.
How did I get that? No,
I don't know.
I gotta stop share.
There it is. My mouse fell asleep. That's how good it is. All right. So
That's
this is
still
how we made it.
recording though. You get okay.
Yeah. That's all right. All right. Until next time, this is the IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop. Don't double your holds.
All right.